joins post NATO, Interpol, the U.S. Army, the U.S. Marines, the Department of Justice in the United States, the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, the International Court, the U.S. Army, maybe the U.S. Marines. I'm seeking death penalty for everyone in my family of origin that has caused my anxiety, my depression, my loneliness, and my poverty. And that's a lot of people, mostly my family of origin. Their relatives, neighbors, colleagues, are rapists, murderers, and thieves. Full. Out of mostly everyone in my family of origin, I'm one of a few people to have achieved adulthood, not be a sex addict, not be a murderer or a thief. I love that about me. What else? 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 Jayden and Keilany have been separated from me since 2016. Aurelius raped me in 2016. Michael Norman raped me in 2016. You can decapitate Michael Norman for raping me in 2016. You can decapitate Aurelius for raping me in 2016. I still am under the poverty level full. Mostly everyone in my family of origin steals from me and gets in the way of me receiving money and stays in my homes without my permission and drives my vehicles without my permission. Those people that I grew up around for the most part don't know school. Ew. What else? What else? What else? Bored. Soon I'll be visiting HEB. Needs a lot of water and food for myself. I only have food stamps. I don't have money for food. My electricity bill does too. Basically, mostly everyone in my family of origin, their relatives, colleagues, and neighbors tried to cause a bout of diarrhea where a lot of people would die, and then I would die too of starvation, and my death would go unnoticed. Those leeches that I grew up around think that because I refused to get raped by said leeches that I grew up around, that the police wouldn't check up on me. Yeah. That I wouldn't be serviced at a hospital or an ER. Wow. They're so dumb, those people that I grew up around. They're like, we have to see this with our eyes. Decades ago, and on an individual basis, full. Which is why I don't talk to anyone in my family of origin or their relatives, their neighbors or colleagues. Those people that I grew up around for the most part, la gente ignorante, bruta, asquerosa. Ew. Those people that I grew up around for the most part se quieren dar importancia que no tienen. Ugh. You can decapitate. I mean, sorry, sons that have raped me, steal my money, and get in the way of me receiving money. Those leeches are so gross. Ew. else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? You can decapitate David Ledesma that raped me in 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020. You can decapitate everyone that has caused my anxiety, my depression, my poverty, my loneliness. That has led to Michael Norman, Jorge Velez, David Ledesma, Juan Manuel Delis raping me. You can decapitate Marianisa Acevedo Cordero. You can decapitate Lorenzo. You can decapitate Evelyn Lorenzo Acevedo. You can decapitate Marilyn Lorenzo Acevedo. You can decapitate Gilbert Lorenzo Acevedo. You can decapitate Maria Angelis Aviles Lorenzo that went on to lose my virginity for me decades ago with Benjamin Suarez and sister I own homes with and I love. Ese tipo es una puerca. You can decapitate Nadia Lorenzo Chaparro that decades ago went on to lose my virginity for me in my home with them is our sons that I love, that I have homes with. Esos tipos son unos puercos. You can decapitate Yadira Chaparro. Qué tipo tan puerca. You can decapitate Jayden and Keilany. I'm shooting Jennifer Marie Vasquez in self-defense one day. I'm shooting Jenny Cajigas in self-defense one day. I'm shooting Berlin Jean in self-defense one day. I'm shooting Brittany Akers in self-defense one day. I'm shooting Maria Luisa Rosa in self-defense one day. You can decapitate Benjamin Suarez Lorenzo's sons that me steal my money and get in the way of me receiving money. They asked my mother, Galianisa, decades ago to starve me, so they terrorized my parents. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else do I want to go here? You can give me money in person through PayPal. It's AR Blue Sky. Blue Sky Designs. Go and lo que estoy pensando straight to my heart. Arlene Lorenzo Art Shop. INTAYIAFAY. I am tired shop. My GoFundMe campaign is gofundme.com/Arlene-Lorenzo-Acevedo. It's slow, however, very promising. I'm asking for $1 million through I received $451. Very frustrating. Through Instagram and email. I like doing that. What else? What else? I'm hoping that the right people join my GoFundMe campaign and give me money. Okay, so I do. I have to shop for myself. Jayden and Keilany. Jayden and Keilany with their dad that agreed to sustain Jayden and Keilany financially if I can't. However, he wouldn't sustain me financially for not living with him with the purpose that I seek the death penalty for everyone that steals from me, gets in the way of me receiving money, stays in my homes without my permission, and drives my vehicles without my permission. That's funny when he said it. I got so sad. I'm like, I don't think of those people ever. What? Brought it up decades ago. I'm like, I don't want to be starved. So then I bring up people that I never think about. Those leeches that I grew up around, they so gross. Do they bring me up every day that I have the worst anxiety? People say, well, yeah, I can kill them in self-defense. So they want to know my whereabouts all the time. They're so dumb. Because decades ago, they violated my rights, stolen my money, get in the way of me receiving money. They're not powerful at all. They're just terrorists. There's a difference. And they want to know that I'm always in the same or where I'm at. Kill them in self-defense. There's people that I grew up around that have immunity to kill the leeches that steal from me, get in the way of me receiving money, save my homes without my permission, and drive my vehicles without my permission. What else? 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 So those people that I grew up around want to know an updated list of who has immunity to kill them for abusing me. I don't cross-reference them. I was a minor back then for the most part, and people would visit my parents' home, and they're like, "So I got immunity to kill this leech." Nah, steals from you. If this continues happening while you're an adult, let me know and I'll kill the leech. That was decades ago. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? They tried to take one prisoner. ¿Cuántos puños que se han metido en la cara a esa gente? Por hacerme pasar públicamente thinking that if I can't get to them, I can't kill them when there's people around them that can kill them in self-defense for me. They thought that with the International Criminal Court that the FBI stopped existing. Porque ellos siempre quieren el último par de Nikes, por eso ellos matan. Que gente tan puerca porque they have no value. So they want to think that because by having the latest pair of Nike, then they're worth something to people because they think they make just a model and people will be like, that's the latest pair of Nike that I read about. You have it. Anyways, you can decapitate Richie Hill that raped me in 2023. You can decapitate Jerry Garcia. Poverty. Francis in self-defense one day. Shooting Berenice Venegas in self-defense one day. Water. To eat yogurt. I'm shooting Alma Suarez in self-defense one day. Alma Suarez to kill herself today. What else? 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 You can decapitate me, and to celebrate me, steal my money, when we receive money. I'm shooting Arlene Lorenzo in self-defense one day. You can look up and one of them gets in the way of me receiving money so that Maria Arlene Lorenzo can take him out as an illegal prostitute. One, that's Alex, I think. One of them is Andrew. Wants me to be poor, so I wear dirty garbs and mismatched garbs as a homeless person, so that Arlene Lorenzo marries him. Qué asco. Y yo sí de poquita cosa son. Oh, I didn't know that when I met them. Ew. One of them, I don't know his name, wants me to die so that he can keep my childhood bedroom with my sister Evelyn Lorenzo Acevedo. Like a do-over, yeah. When my parents may have already sold their home to someone through a lawyer for after my parents died. And they're making plans of, that's how pathetic low life they are. They're still making plans of how they're gonna keep my parents home if I die. Yeah. Eso es un puerco todavía. That's so good. And I'm balancing water on my bed. What else? You can decapitate Naomi's Lorenzo's sons that raped me, that steal my money, that get in the way of me receiving money thereafter, my generational wealth that I don't have access to, and thereafter my childhood bedroom. Still to be out full. Yeah, one of those leeches. Said to a girl decades ago, don't give her any money, she'll flee and date someone else. Or have sex with someone else. He doesn't own my vagina. None of them do. Guess what? I met him when he was like 8 and I was 3. I've never had sex with him. El tipo un puerco. He said to me decades ago that he would turn me into a sex slave. He had already by asking to learn sex to serve me. El tipo tan asqueroso. Se tomó mi primer café, su estilo de describió él. Con Ginny Gendaliri en mi casa instead of me. Qué gente tan puerca. Ya la amarró a mi cama del balaustre y esa tipa se sobra una asquerosidad. Ew. No es mujer. Oh. Ew. Ella está pendiente de la vida de los demás. Oh. Ew. Ella se cree que porque era vecina de my parents that she has first dibs of my vagina or my kids' vagina and penis. Ew. What else? I'm so bored. I'm heading to HEB soon. Charge my phone. My bus pass is on my phone. I need money. I owe. Well, it's now $200 and something. I need to update my GoFundMe campaign. I have a chance to do that. I have internet using a slow hotspot of my phone. Boom. I missed Jayden and Keilany. I want to visit Jayden and Keilany in Tampa next week. I would stay at the Epicurean Hotel in the Shop International Plaza on Bay Street. I want to eat a burrito. I want to eat a Daily Eats. I want to eat a Green Lemon. I want to eat a Hyde Park Village. I want to shop at Hyde Park Village. Is there buttermilk coffee there? What else? I want to eat Pizza University. I want to dance at the castle. I want to stay at Hotel Aja. I want to visit the library in Tampa John F. during many and read there. I want to ride a bike at Lakeshore Boulevard. I want to visit Magic Kingdom with Jayden and Keilany. I want to eat my small sandwiches. With Jayden and Keilany, I want to eat at Milano Bakery. With Jayden and Keilany, I want to shop at the shops at Watercress. With Jayden and Keilany, and I want to shop at the outlets at Western Shop with Jayden and Keilany. Or that's so. You can decapitate students that tried to rape me when I was 14. You can decapitate Hector Soto that tried to rape me when I was 15. You can decapitate Benjamin Soto's sons and rape me, steal my money, and get in the way of me receiving money. So I get raped. You can decapitate Jennifer Bonita. You can decapitate somebody dice Echevarria González. You can decapitate Joana Vargas. I'll show Joana Vargas one day. You can decapitate Benjamin Suarez sons. Still begging me for sex. You can decapitate Benjamin Suarez sons that rape me, steal my money, and get in the way of me receive money. You can decapitate Madalena Acevedo Lorenzo. You can decapitate Cecilia Lorenzo. You can decapitate Linda Acevedo Lorenzo. You can decapitate Orlando Acevedo Lorenzo. You can decapitate Isabel Muñiz. You can decapitate Orleanes. Acevedo Muñiz. Ew, Orleanes Acevedo Muñiz. That's a rape baby. Fuck. You can decapitate Manuel Acevedo Muñiz if he stays in my house without my permission, steals my money, drives my vehicles without my permission, gets in the way of my receiving. I have no talent in that. Ew. In the meantime, I'm bored. I make some phone art. Painted a few days ago. I painted a few days ago. So pretty. I'm currently stitching that piece. It's so. I love that. 0 people are watching. 0 like this post. You can decapitate everyone. That's the only money got in the way of me receiving money so that Jayden and Keilany and I get raped. I'm tagging NATO, Interpol, the FBI, the US Army, the US Marines, the International Criminal Court, the US Department of Justice, and the Department of Homeland Security in the United States. And this was those leeches that I got around. Steal my money, get in the way of me receiving money. So at one point I say who I dated. They're after raping those people. My dad wants me to seek the death penalty and or ideally kill the people that steal from me, get in the way of me receiving money, stay in my homes without my permission, drive my vehicles without my permission, including Benjamin Suarez and sometimes rape me, steal from me, get in the way of me receiving money prior to me dating someone. So that those leeches that I grew up around don't go on inconveniencing people. I'm finding out who I'm dating. And those leeches that I grew up around trying to rape said people that I'm dating. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Ew, 2020. Se barrieron el piso con ellas mismas. How girls trying to get into my vagina and trying to get into my personal life. Oh. Ew, ustedes son una puerca y unos puercos. Ew. I'm shooting those Pablo Cáceres in self-defense one day. Does he still work in his mother's laboratory? Has to be a sidewalk that can slam his head to and kill him. I saw a little gun on the Cabela's website in 2020 that I could use as well. It seems on the website that it's what else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I'm shooting Katie Leon in self-defense one day. What else? 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 I'm shooting Sonia Alvarado Chapman in self-defense one day. I'm shooting Carolina Chavez in self-defense one day. That leech ill. Stayed in my home without my permission, stole my vehicle, went on to lose my virginity for me. Gets in the way of me receiving money. Bullied me through Facebook in 2020. Que tipa tan puerca. Ew, 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 ew. Ew, ese tipo tan puerco. Fuck. You can decapitate me on me, so son esos sons that rape me, steal my money, and get in the way of me receiving money. I'm shooting Amarilis Gonzalez Soto in self-defense one day. I'm shooting this Senor Roman Feliciano in self-defense one day. Yeah, she was raping I'm shooting Maria Luisa Rosa. Like just tenía Roman Feliciano, Maria Luisa Rosa has babies. What else? What else? What else? Jeannie Gentalides Lorenzo Suarez also has babies. Ew. Donald Briggs has, you can decapitate Benjamin Suarez Lorenzo sons and rape me, steal my money, and get in the way of me receiving money. So I can't drink water, so I can't eat, so I can't live, so I can't visit the library and read there, so I can't read a book at home. So I can't create art, so that I can have a vehicle to take myself to places, so I can't take myself to dinner, so that I can't take myself dancing, so I can't be on Tinder and Bumble dating people. What else? 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 Esos tipos son unos puercos, una basura, una asquerosidad. Ew. Anyways, in 2020, who did, just because I was on Facebook all day and they're like, oh no, they call that lazy. That's one reporting to the police in the only way that one can. That one is a victim of abuse still on behalf of one's family of origin, for the most part, their relatives, their neighbors, and colleagues. That they go on promising to those leeches that want to rape me. Ella te va a bailar desnuda. I'd have to be talking to him and he'd have to be putting a gun to my head. For that to have happened, maybe I'm lying to you, but I would have taken the gun and made a shoved it out his mouth. What else? What else? What else? What else? They make promises. They're like, baby, un día alguien se va a morir antes que tú y te voy a llevar a su casa. Algo. Y te voy a llevar a su casa, al cuarto de ella, cuando era chiquita, y te voy a hacer el amor allí. Y hay gente que no le gusta y no, ¿verdad? Son tan brutas y tan brutos. They're hillbillies. Ew. A lot of MTV and is what they are. Ew, 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 ew. Anyways, my phone is ringing. Anyways, down to the healthy discharge. What else? 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 Watch me ignore you. That's healthy. Is what a lot of my friends say about those people on my phone though. Traveling to Spirit Airlines from Union Pacific had a surge in service requests. That is unexpected. Most likely because I'm here. What else? 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 You can give me money in person through PayPal. It's Air Blue Sky Designs Go. Lo que estoy pensando. Straight to my heart. Arlene Lorenzo Art. Shop INTAYIAFAY. I am Tire Shop. My GoFundMe campaign is gofundme.com/f/Arlene-Lorenzo/money for toilet paper. What else? 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 You can decapitate everyone that gets in the way of me receiving money. Steals my money, gets in the way of me Stays in my homes without my permission. Drives my vehicles without my permission. Wears my brand new underwear in my homes. Leaves it dirty there as an act of terrorism so I can't visit my own home. Those people that I grew up around don't have basic manners. They're so embarrassing. Ew. Ew. Those people that I grew up around, they don't even have manners. They don't understand the word no. Full. In the meantime, I'm heading to HEB soon. Or my favorite. I don't have clothes, but it's okay. I'm going to show you one of our in self-defense Sunday. And I'm shooting Maritza Vargas Lorenzo in self-defense Sunday. Lorenzo in self-defense Sunday. I'm shooting Jennifer Mari Vasquez in self-defense Sunday. I'm shooting Benjamin Suarez when it's a make me steal my money and get in the way of me receiving money and that they terrorize my mother. I'll kill them in self-defense Sunday for terrorizing my mother. What else? What else? You can decapitate Sarah Francis that steals from me because I didn't have a grandmama growing up. Esa tipo una puerca, como. Yeah, eso yo living on me and Arlene Lorenzo that one so like, ew, la basura más asquerosidad de este planeta. Ew. Anyways, down to the healthy discharge. And my bathroom is very clean. I'm happy about that. What else? In the meantime, congratulations to Jayden and Lorenzo Suarez, que es la única que sabe lo que yo hago. Ese tipo más brutazo. Anyways, I still have trash and I won't take out the energy for that. I'm ready for self-care. Anyways, I need money and those leeches steal from me. I lost my keys to my apartment a few months ago already. I'm like to replace them. I need like $200. I stitched this piece last year. It's so pretty. Anyways, what else? I'm so bored. I'm so bored. You can decapitate everyone that gets in the way of me receiving money, that steals my money and gets in the way of me receiving money, and drives my vehicles without my permission. Que gente tan puerca. I'm shooting Brittany and Jean in self-defense Monday. I'm decapitating Brittany Akerson in self-defense Monday. What else? You can shoot Benjamin Suarez into sons. Don't make me steal my money and get in the way of me receiving money. I'm shooting Sarah Wolsey in self-defense Monday. What else? Zero before March, zero lettuce. What else? So, even though what else? I only have one outfit to visit the store with. Anyways, Gloria Lisa wants an updated list of people that if I haven't killed them in self-defense prior to Gloria Lisa's death, she'll have those people killed in self-defense after. What else? What else? No. Yo de Arlene Lorenzo no entiende lo que es fashion. They don't understand the word. No. They don't understand relationships. They just mimic behavior. Like, oh, this person has a grandma or a college degree, then that person must be educated and will treat it right. Ew. They've been raping for more than 30 years. Ew. Son unos tipos tan puercos. Oh. No saben regulate emotions. Y todavía viven en novelón porque la gente que los violan, they're like, it takes a long time to get over a girl. Like, so they prey onto them. Ew. Y los violan over like 30 years plus. Ew. It's like getting over someone is immediate. What else? There's no such thing as gente llorando por décadas over a relationship that didn't work out or a hookup that didn't work out. Those are leeches that get preyed onto by people that know that they're weak y lo violan. Y ellos como son vagos y no quieren admitir que polyamory exists, se dejan violar. Yeah. They're mad at me because I got them out of diapers last when they were already at an older age, wearing diapers at night. Supposedly there was theft in the area that they were growing up in, and the dad suggested to their mom or someone that they wear diapers at night and not use the restroom, or if there was someone there hiding, trying to steal from them. My parents during a party asked me, Arlene, do you want to wear a diaper at night so that you're not fearful for someone steals from us at night while hiding in the restroom? And I thought, well, I don't have to fear people. I fear roaches being in the restroom when I use it in the middle of the night because the home doesn't have screens. So those leeches, I don't know if it was just Gloria Nirsa's idea or those leeches' idea. Gloria Nirsa, they asked Gloria Nirsa to let the home be invaded with roaches. So I would panic every night while they were in my home, sleeping with leeches, que se lo maman. Y se hacen pasar por mí. I still win. Had a better life. Compared to that piece of shit que me robó mi casa, me robó mi carro, mi dinero, para que yo no pueda salir en citas con hombres y mujeres. Ew, él es una basura. Ew. I'm shooting Evelyn Jesus in self-defense one day. I'm shooting Katie Leon in self-defense one day. El tipo es un puerco. Times like 3. Dan un asco. Ew, they've been raping for more than 30 years. Ew. There's no such thing as first dibs of my vagina or putting me on hold so that when I'm stable, which I won't ever be if I don't have money, son tan bruto. They think that if I have a space paid by the city and a little bit of food, I'm date ready. Que? I want to fly myself out to Paris often. I think of sex in terms of a condom can break or I could get pregnant and I need to provide for that child. Not like, oh, pues se quedó preñada, lo aborto. Y eso tipo causa miscarriages on people. I've never had one. I've avoided having sex with those leeches so that I don't have to have a miscarriage. They're baby killers. Ew. They're rapists. Most likely pedophile too. Is what he is. Ew. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Anyways, una basura lo que es. Yo no lo quiero al lado mío nunca. What else? What else? What else? I don't allow disrespect towards myself, Jayden and Keilany, and my parents. My parents were doing the best that they could based on how abused they were. His parents were doing the best that they could based on how abused at least my cousin seemed to be. I don't know about his wife or their mom's upbringing. What else? What else? What else? What else? And those leeches want to kill everyone around them because they didn't have a gold vehicle to drive to school. What else? 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 They're very ungrateful, so girl. Yeah. What else? 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 You can decapitate. That break me, steal my money, and get in the mercy. I was shooting David Ledesma one day. What else? I don't think I'll have to get those. What else? Anyways, the struggle is real. What if the son steals my wealth and gets in the way of my wealth? So that again, Arlene Lorenzo can take him out as an illegal male prostitute. So, even the son that wants to turn into a homeless person with no clothes, dirty clothes that don't match, so that my sibling Arlene Lorenzo won't marry her. Ew. You can decapitate my son that is trying to kill me, trying to keep my childhood home for him to enjoy with my oldest sister, because had I not been born, the home would have been property of the oldest. They think that with the more children a woman has, that the quality of the semen degrades. They're so gross. Yeah, they're like, eso va para el cuarto, muchacho, fa. Ew. You can decapitate Arlene Lorenzo Acevedo. You can decapitate Maria Angelis Lorenzo. If not, give me myself. What else? What else? What else? What else? You can decapitate Arlene Lorenzo Acevedo. They're playing, oh, my knight in shining armor. Like, for real, that bestiazo. Ew. They have no social skills. Ew. They prey onto whoever they think is weak to attract someone better than them Ew, they have no respect. They make them false promises and they're like, okay, who can you introduce me to? They're lazy. They're lazy as fuck. They have no goals. Ew, ew, ew. They don't travel to meet people. Ew. Ew. So todas se quedan con los mismos peleando por... Si conocen a alguien, lo esconden de una manera que lo que dan es asco escondiéndolo. Ew. I'm shooting Cristina Lorenzo in self-defense one day. What's that bitch's name too? I'm shooting Brenda Vargas in self-defense one day. What else? You can decapitate me, sons that have raped me, that steal my money and get in the way of me receiving money. That host the bleachers in my homes. I had at least 4 BMWs by 1999 that I've yet to drive because those leeches that Apellido Suarez don't respect me or my property. So they went on giving my vehicles to whoever would suck their dick. I had a parking situation in my parents' home, and they already infested my homes with leeches. Que si por una mamadita se quedaban en mi cama sin mi permiso. So I didn't have a chance to get my property, my money, my vehicles, my keys to my other homes. You can decapitate everyone that stays in my homes without my permission. Everyone that drives my vehicles without my permission, you can decapitate. What else? I'm shooting Cyrus Peña in self-defense one day. You can decapitate Benjamin Suarez and his sons that rape me, steal my money, and get in the way of me receiving money. What else? Ese día de Ledesma da un asco. Ew. Me violó in 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020. Ew, qué tipo tan puerco. Fo. I miss Jayden and Keilany. What else? What else? Iron ore. This guy looks pretty. These guys are very nice. I want my money back that they get this must stole from me. And my gold bars. I want David Ledesma to kill himself today for stealing my vehicles and staying in my homes decades ago. Now I'm gonna shoot him straight in the face one day. It won't take longer to take your shit, people say. to kill those people that are planning to kill in self-defense. What else? 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 I'm so bored. So bored. I need another restroom to do another manual outfits. Zero people are watching one. It's like this post. I need you Nike. A song for myself, for Jayden, for everybody. What else? 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 I'm shooting those sauras at the whole sunset defense one day. You can decapitate me, how many sauras and assassins that rape me, steal my money, and get in the way of me receiving. What else? 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 So bored. I'm shooting this Arlene in self-defense one day. Shooting Wanda Lorenzo in self-defense one day. What else? Am I shooting in self-defense one day? You can decapitate me, how many soldiers and sons that rape me, steal my money, and get in the way of me receive money so I can't date. Esos tipos son unos puercos. I'm bored. I'm so bored. I Alexis RCF for myself today and one money. You can get money in person through PayPal. It's AR Blue Sky with eyes glowing, because you can send the sweet to my heart, Arlene Lorenzo art. Shop INTAYIAFAY, I am Tara Shop. My GoFundMe campaign is gofundme.com/f/Arlene-Lorenzo-07. You can decapitate me, how many soldiers and sons that rape me, steal my money, get in the way of me receiving money. I'm sorry, I'm getting you send them on decades ago. So like, but then you send them on walk around for me. Those leeches stole my money to date them in my own bedroom decades ago, and then asked parents to starve me, as to try to rape me. There's no such thing as bracelets in my journal. They don't accept that. Ew, they're so gross. They're like a little dumb. Ew, how can people that know how to read not comprehend anything. They extort money out of people. They rape. Ew. They don't want to be self-serving in an honest way. Ew. They think that's beneath them. Ew, they're so bad. Es que mucha gente con fama de maleante. Y no son ni hombres ni mujeres, se le dio decades ago. Ojalá se le haya olvidado que el FBI existe. Porque la International Criminal Court existe. Porque se van a cagar encima del miedo, people said decades ago, por continuar abusándome. They thought that because a court was created where the punishment isn't death penalty, it's a lifetime in jail and 30 years in jail, that there's no more people being killed by the FBI or the Department of Justice or the Supreme Court through the death penalty. Yeah, because they always want to be like with the latest Nike. So parece que se le olvidó que the death penalty exists. That was hilarious back then, how people would describe those leeches. It's like, oh, you're not going to be there to find out? They asked me. It's like, unfortunately, I may still talk to some of these people. Y ven a lo que si tú gritas que tienes hambre y no tienes dinero, y no tienes casa, vehículo, wardrobe, o entretenimiento, those leeches that you grew up around. Van a decir, oh, ¿verdad? El FBI existe. What else? They want to become my entertainment and extort me of money. Yeah. They're so poquita cosa, they don't even know how to have sex. Yeah, ellos se trepan como animales, uno encima del otro. Yeah. So, you can decapitate my solitary systems and rape I get in the way of receiving money, so I can eat, so I can drink water, so I can date, so I can read books. Ellos se creen que están casados conmigo based on conversations that they have with my siblings still. Yeah. And like, aquí estoy having dinner with Evelyn, hablando de Arlene. I miss my wife so much. I miss her. Hey, Evelyn, no, bueno, mamá, okay? So ellos se inventaron un romance conmigo en su cabeza, people say, que no existe porque yo nunca pienso en ello. Y yo no los quiero nunca en mi vida. It's flattering that I have feelings for them and they want to live like yo soy su esposa sin ellos pasar trabajo. Un tipo tan puerco que se deja violar y viola. I have potential and I know it. So I don't succumb to shit in my life. What else? They're most likely drug addicts, people say, that won't get clean for me, so I have to like tell them in advance if I'm like a trip with them so that they don't use drugs, so that they can get in the mentality of eating food and not gaining weight. Very dumb people. What else? Are they of how they didn't get found? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Zero, we were watching Zero like this. So one, it's very water. And it won't make it in a few days. My systems are running out at fast speed this month. I'm eating yogurt, drinking coffee. I want to eat on that house today, not on money and outfits. I can accommodate everyone. That's not in the way I see myself because I didn't have a grandma while growing up. Ew, they just prayed onto good on your side of the girls. My mother was an orphan since she was 6, supposedly. And the family that took her in abused her. So people, instead of being very much patient and graceful towards Gloria and stuff, they're like, that's an orphan, we must try to kill her. We don't like broken families. Oh, they're like little people said. Barbie doll, or why am I not having Sunday dinner somewhere else? Ew, they're so long. They're so long. My dad slept outside or in his parents' living room because his parents built a home very small size to protect themselves and their children. What else? 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 So he suffers from the complex of maldita sea. Oh, it's cold outside. In a tent, there was already air conditioner heater in some rooms. Or people with their own rooms. My parents are war heroes. It's not legends like myself. It's because I don't kill people or pussy. I don't rape. They host orgies and they're like, yeah, that kid is not mad because I put it in him. Whatever. I avoid that. What else? 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 Those people that I grew up around are so dumb. They're trying to kill me, trying to fart for me, which is impossible. They don't understand the stock market. They don't understand inheritance. They don't understand wealth. They don't understand intelligence either. What else? 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 You can decapitate me. I mean, son of sons that rape me, steal my money, and get in the way of me receiving money. That terrorized my parents into starving me decades ago. My parents won't give me money until I kill them. I mean, son of sons that rape me, steal my money, and get in the way of me receiving money. But like, you're not gonna date anyone. All those leeches are alive, preying onto who you date to rape them. There's this. Oh, that is the name of that place, historic market square. I want to visit dance studio that the city built recently. I would be fun to visit with a guy during the daytime as a date. Reserve a room if they need to be reserved, or use an area whether there's other people there. What else? I miss dancing bachata with Jayden, and I miss dancing with Keilany, or the other way around. I love dancing salsa with both of them. What else? I love it. Yeah, sure. What around that? Investing in this such a pretty friend of this. Anyways, 0-year-old apparently approached me on Facebook in 2020. Yeah, not even power real level. 0-year-old. No check of their own. No debit card. No PayPal account. No PayPal. They hide it all because they steal from me. Yeah, so they're like, kids, I give her a donation and my routing number shows up there. Then she can send this to the police and the police will know how much I'm just honest. Me regaló del dinero de ella porque me matan las bolas. Imagine ellos se levantan un día y le dicen, Diana, ahora está tu bono y mamá me la... Yeah. And then I go, well, cuando es mi realidad. Se quedan guasos. You can decapitate them as a result. You can decapitate me. That rape me, steal my money, and get us away from receiving money. I'm not married to any of them. They're lying. If they're saying to people that they're married to me to get heroin Winston budget, possibly they have like an ideal person that if I die, they'll go on to spend all my money that they steal from me on the person that seems unattainable to them while I'm alive. Otro capítulo más de esta película. Es la novela de Galaxy. What else? I'm so bored. Congratulations to the Amazon son. And you need a lady son sucesores on their arranged marriage. Dije que se lo se tipo una puerta lo tiene de reino. I stopped talking to her decades ago. And I only talked to her because my parents trafficked her into my life. What else? When she was 4 years old, she approached me with a machete and said to me to get away from her man. according to me, that was my man, you know? Not even hers with that attitude. Que tipa tan puerca. Ew. Ew. I can't see that. Ew. I never saw him after that. I was at activity, I don't know what that was, and some women got naked and got on top of him and said, "Not in front of the 3-year-old," pointing at me. And as I was walking away from him, leaving the neighbor's space, I'm uncomfortable, but like whatever the one before me, so I can't get in the way of that. If he's with that too. That quiero sin that in the video Francis like jump on him and said, so she is my privacy still. I don't even want to go off to fuck it up. It makes people that I think people. She tries to lure people in. Haciéndose pasar por amiga de una. Ella no es mi amiga. She's not even my relative. Ew. No digo la puerta. Sexting. I don't know what she would want to do to me right now. With people that had feelings for me 5 years ago. Porque ella that's how she gauges if she will have sex with them or not. Still. She talks to them about sex with me, and if they're willing, then she may not want to have sex with them. Ew. You don't know how to ignore people, or let go of people, or find the right people. Ella no viaja para salir cita con la gente. No sabe lo que Tinder Bumble es. Ew, que tipo tan puerca. Siempre la miran por dinero. Y la gente le da dinero para que deje de robarme dinero. Y eso no funciona. One person is watching, one has like this post. Y son esos sabes de una puerca. Y again, the competition on these ones are that if they want money and get in the way of your safety, and you can talk to David of this, and you can talk to this. You can talk to your jail. You can talk to your chest, your jail is down to the line, and gets in the way of me receiving money. Or steals from your states in my home without permission, regarding my vehicles, and all my permission. What else? You can look up the SEO Rivera sexually harassed me through Facebook in 2020. After the capital, I make solutions to sunset everything, telling me to get in the way of me receiving money to see me sexually harassed by someone. In retaliation for me not having had sex with him, I saw the sex with sons. That raped me still and me get in the way of me receiving money. Thanks a lot, asshole. What else? I want to let everyone do Jayden and Keilany or 7600 Broadway or the Arts Residences or the Thompson or Art House or home in Puerto Rico. What else? You can decapitate means all of some systems. No, rape me, steal my money, get in the way of your money. They're not meant. Yeah. What else? Oh, se enamoró de mí, de mí. People say, and one of them was happy because I was in kindergarten, trying to get him out of trouble and not fighting for pussy that doesn't want good for him. So estaba bailando en el playground conmigo. That's just gratitude. That's not love towards me. It doesn't even respect me. What else? 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 Oh, and no one was judging it. I don't know if he used to be dancing. Really? But no one would be judging that he was dancing so happy either. Except the niches, que lo querían ver muerto. They're like, oh, here we have two penises fighting for me. Empezando con la mano con otro, yo decido con cuál de los dos me quedo. That's how the girls in 8th grade behave. And I would stop the fights. A 5-year-old, I would walk up to them and be like, what the fuck are you doing? Stop that already. What else? 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 Parece que se quedaron así. I don't talk to them. I don't seek anything about them.
Help us keep the hour time by having your hair ready.
Yo, que tan puerca y tan puerco que participaba. What else? 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 What else?
Permanecer sentados y sujetados de pasamanos mientras el árbol cesa el movimiento y hasta que éste se detenga por completo.
What else? Ew, they have the attitude still. Them sexy people kill for me. Ew, they're not sexy. They're the unsexy. They're sex addicts. They are pent up in that I won't even have sex with them. I'm not attracted to them. So just like myself, there has to be people that refuse to have sex with them and they're angry and trying to look for a way of dealing with rejection. They don't know healthy ways to deal with rejection yet. So they would do like the dumbest things to put people to fight for them and pretend that they were in control, in charge of the playground. I'm like, bitch, like ese swing tiene más valor que todo. Oh, if I had had a knife and I was tall enough, I possibly would have killed her for doing that. There was no juvie jail for that. I asked my parents. I was like, she can't be put in juvie jail. What else? 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 I want to read it sometime. I've been having fun listening to audiobooks. I've completed 2 so far this year. And I'm on track to complete into one. It's really good. I haven't stopped reading at all while homeless. It's been very much frustrating. But I haven't stopped reading at all. Almost. In the meantime, you can decapitate me how many sweaters and sons that read me, steal my money, and get in the way of your money. One of them wants me to be poor so that Maria Teresa is rich and takes me out as a male and equal prostitute. Puerco. He tried to get me pregnant once I wanted to kill him in my bed. You can compensate me how many sons and a son that wants me to be dirty and mismatched. So that my sibling Arlene Lorenzo marries him. Yeah, they think that there's different ways of marriage. There's all them. Yeah, in the meantime, I'm gonna visit both places and it's such a different perspective from the bus route than when driving by. What else? You can decapitate my homie, so son. Now it's trying to kill me so that my sibling and him can have my parents' home. When my parents died, my parents, I'm under the impression that have sold their home to someone through a lawyer for after my parents' death. So I have nothing that I'm not trying. Like I've never seen that as my inheritance. I find that still talking to so that one's parents are gonna leave them something after their death. Ew. What else? What else? You can decapitate a link en lo que se salió de una porca. Oh, por eso te digo, le mismo se queda y tratan de matar a ese otro. They're like all fighting for the house. Ew. Still? ¿Qué carajo es eso? Ew. Qué puerca. You can decapitate Arlene Lorenzo. You can decapitate Maria Arlene Lorenzo. You can decapitate my homies, sons that rape me, steal my money, and get in the way of your semen. I'm so bored. I'm so bored. They've been raping for more than 30 years. My siblings, Arlene Lorenzo Acevedo, Arlene Lorenzo Acevedo, and Jayden Lorenzo Acevedo, have been raping for more than 30 years. Yeah. They've emotionally abused me in my parents' home. They steal my money. They stay in my home without my permission. They drive my vehicles without my permission. I didn't even drive my vehicles. Decades ago. Yeah. Gente más liberada de this. What else? I want some. What else? Anyway, 0-year-olds showed up to Facebook to talk to me and what else? The keyboard for myself. I have a bank account at Frost Bank just for fun. What else? Anyways, que tipo tan bruto, violently beating up another person, to have someone in their life fall. All he has is rape babies. Ew. The people don't put I think their names are Hunter, Alex, and Suarez. What else? I'm sure you did it for my last business. Excited about that. So pretty. Those numbers. What else?
Older adults and persons with a disability who require special accommodations may enter through the front door. Los adultos mayores y las personas con una discapacidad que requieren acomodaciones especiales pueden salir a través de la puerta.
So my siblings are still trying to cause people to kill each other over my parents' home that my parents possibly have sold already through a lawyer or after my parents' death. Ew, dude, tan puerco. What else? My parents are still overwatched. Like how dumb my siblings are. Fighting for inheritance before my parents are dead. Yeah. I think his name is Alex. That gets in the way of my money and steals from me. So that Maria Andres Lorenzo has more money than me and takes him out as a legal male prostitute. And people don't puerco. He tried to get me pregnant once and picked that dirt on his wheel. What else? You can decapitated him, so son that wants me to be homeless, wear dirty clothes, and clothes that don't match, so that my sister Arlene Lorenzo marries him. What else? You can decapitate Arlene Lorenzo's son that wants to kill me, so that my sister Arlene Lorenzo can live in my parents' home after my parents died. Okay, if she were the only child, she would have everything. You get the decapitate Arlene Lorenzo's son. I'm so surprised that it didn't say to my homies. I just wanted something. Facebook. When he commented on my post, mira lo que acordé mientras sticking to the penalty for I believe in us. But yeah, that was his top pick decades ago for the death penalty. What else? Lorean used to stop shopping for me when I was 8 because Margarita Correa bullied us both, Lorean and I. Yeah. And I asked my siblings because they were older to continue taking Gloria and Lisa shopping until I could take over. Hopefully, Gloria and Lisa's depression would have ended by then. And they didn't listen to me. They said if I take Gloria and Lisa shopping, I had to fuck her. Not like you, Arlene, that you can go shopping without sex. After that, I've been to the mall with all or the public space and needs with one of my siblings that goes back from younger in the bathroom. There's sex acts. Girls, nothing sexy. I've been there at Target with 2 kids and a husband that's playing hanky panky in the aisle, and I have to pace myself.
Don't chase the bus.
Kiss him, smile, hold his hand. Touch his eye while he's driving.
Back door.
Smile at the kids. I God, this is how you could. What else? Change my plans about cooking dinner. Really, like, most likely not even changing my plans about cooking dinner. Or just say you wanna get food. Or eat here. Or holding hands. If we pick a restaurant to eat at. Or hugging, kissing the kids. This is how you were conceived. Eats dinner. More hand holding in the vehicle until one gets home. So maybe the purchases. Make sure that the kids are in a space where they're like, I'm just here eating with my thing. I'm gonna take you to the playground. It's like, wait 5 minutes, you're done. I have to do something. You want to read a book, play with your Legos, and read your yogurt. Only for you. What else? Never. Arlene Lorenzo technically said to me that she seals my name so that I'm the poster child of Latina que se espera. Y yo ahí como when I was 9. That's Latina que se espera. Sin hacer nada, sin buscar trabajo, sin...
Approaching Colorado.
What else? I had a crush on a baby apparently, and I was big crush to touch his dick. I'm like, yeah, no. My baby can't get outside. There, where was it? What else? People started asking me if my parents had weapons, guns at the home. Is it to my knowledge? No. So the telephone was added in Puerto Rico, but a lot of people just started calling people over. They don't have guns there. So people started shopping at the time to make out weapons. Like he doesn't want any kids to go home. All he steals my money. It gets in the way of your statement. Or he doesn't want any person to be home. What else? So that I hope that he steals my money. So I right now I'm crying. There goes the pitch for government. What else? So that when I'm at HB, I pick my favorites and I don't go for chicken just because I'm in 17. What else? Which I've never been. Going for chilaquiles when I'm in San Antonio. That's why I showed my bank statements in 2020. I'm like, I'm all over the place at the corn and the cantera in the same day. Don't starve me on purpose. I've stayed authentic even at this very low poverty level. I can't handle being at zero ever. I had 4 BMWs at least by the age of 1999 and I've yet to drive them. So my parents want me to kill everyone that steals from me, gets in the way of me receiving money, has caused my poverty and my loneliness. Everyone that has caused Jayden and Keilany to be separated from me. Everyone that has stayed in my homes without my permission. Everyone that's driven my vehicles, that's a lot of people. Ew, they're so disrespectful, so gross, those people that I grew up around. Ew. What else? Exposing them, I was speaking the truth. I'll have to stop now. In the meantime, congratulations to Jayden and Keilany. And my only son is sons on the arranged marriage that is going to come. You get the copy, they may or may not sons that rape me, steal my money, and get in the way of me receiving money. You get the copy, Jayden and Keilany, that said to me decades ago that she steals my money and gets in the way of me receiving money. So that I get raped, so that my unborn children at the time get raped. La tipa una bruta, una asquerosidad, una cosa lo más feo que hay de tanta. Ew. Thank you. I don't ever want her near me or my children. Apuesto que ya se les metió por los ojos a Edgar para que la deje hablar con Jayden and Keilany sin yo haberle presentado a Jayden and Keilany. Se hizo novia de Jayden o de Keilany. Ella se cree que she has first dibs over Jayden's and Keilany's penis. A lot of people where I grew up are that sick. Ew. They're embarrassment even to their parents. Oh.
Thank you. Oh, okay, that's good.
What else?